Greetings, this is July 18th. It's almost midnight, just waiting for the infrared update with the MODIS system to get an indication of where fires might be moving, where they're situated at the last scan. Looking at the satellite imagery from today, most of those winds were coming from the southwest, but then there was this bank of weather right over top of the Flat Lake fire that was pushing from the northwest. And if we look at the heat detections over the last 24 hours, the perimeter pushed out on the eastern flank towards Highway 97, and then it made expansion on the opposite side on the western flank over on the left-hand side of the screen, and as well it was pushing a bit to the north and to the northeast. Here we're looking at heat detections from the last positions today. We're looking at the eastern flank. We can see Highway 97 on the right-hand side of the screen. Those heat detections look to be within a kilometer from that diagonal infrastructure line that's coming down from the top of the screen. The MODIS are 750 meters square, so I kind of use that as a scale. And then if we move to the southeastern flank, we're looking at about 2 kilometers from Cunningham Lake. Those are VIIRS detections. They're 375 meters, and they represent that a detection of heat was found somewhere within that square. We're looking at the western and northwestern flank of the fire. Gustafson Lake is over on the left-hand side of the screen, and we can see this expansion that's coming out to the southwest. I can't confirm how up-to-date these generic vegetation screens are, but we can see large forested blocks, and the fire appears to be moving into any area that it can find fuel if it's being pushed there by wind. Let's take a look at a recent snapshot of Windy. There we see this wind coming down from the northwest. There is a relative calm around the Fraser, that's on the left-hand portion of the screen, and then we see this other trough of calm air moving up from Cache Creek all the way to 100 Mile House, and to the southeast of that, the winds are coming from the south. We can also see where they kind of spill over and head to the chasm area, and that may have pushed some of the heat detections at chasm towards Highway 97. Let's look at the forecast. Most of the wind gusts appear to be coming from the south. Then in the evening, as the air cools, the winds are predicted to shift and start coming from the northwest again. This pattern seems to follow out throughout the week until Thursday, where it could calm down a bit. This second model that we're looking at, the GFS, predicts more wind in the evening coming from the west. And then the Icon model is predicting stronger gusts from the south during the day and wind shifting and coming from the west and northwest in the evening. If we look at 4 weather models stacked up, we're seeing cooler winds in the evening coming from the west and northwest, then shifting and coming from the south during the day at the heat of the day. And by Wednesday, moving into Thursday, clouds are rolling in. I'm not really seeing any precipitation coming with that cloud cover. If we look at the 3 different models that were available tonight, the ECM is showing 6 kilometers from the northwest. The GFS is showing 4 kilometers an hour from the west, and the Icon system is showing 6 kilometers an hour from the northwest. The NAM, which has a tighter range, was not available for a weather forecast at this time. We're jumping now to the White Rock Lake fire just to take a look. This is yesterday, and then in the most recent update of infrared before midnight, it definitely showed eastern movement into those forested blocks. So now we'll use that diagonal infrastructure right-of-way marking as a landmark or a milestone and see how far this fire progresses in the next infrared update. We'll jump quickly over to Okanagan Falls. The fire has shown expansion eastward up Elmdale Lake Road towards the Okanagan Plateau, and also a bit to the northeast. Very busy on the northeastern flank, and it's moving into an area that did have forest fires in the past. So hopefully the vegetation is green enough to slow any approach. The winds at the higher elevations up on the plateau may have a potential to come stronger from the southwest, so we'll have to watch for that if there is northeastern expansion. Looking at the North Okanagan and points east, I am seeing infrared heat detections west of Upper Arrow Lake and in the Monashees, 1, 2, 3 clusters of infrared as well. There appears to be growth on the eastern side of Maple Lake and north of Sugar Lake. The area is definitely getting busier. And if we jump southwards now, we're looking south central BC. We can see the fires around the Lower Arrow Lake appear to have expanded. Keep in mind we're looking at 4 sets of infrared, so that's 4 times the data. There's been a lot of southwest winds pushing through, potentially drying things out even more. And I'm not seeing any reduction in activity on those existing fire fronts that very well could be expanding. One good point, not seeing any heat detections around the Bombay Pass areas. Afternoon gusts, dry conditions, shifting wind patterns. If you're in the Flat Lake area, be on the watch for potentially stronger gusts from the south in the daytime, and then winds shifting and coming from the west and potentially the northwest in the evening. Thank you very much for watching. Be safe and keep your nose to the breeze.